Hello Bean and welcome to a new video. It's February and we all know what this month is known for. Valentine's Day? Carnival? That it's super cold except that it's still super warm now thanks to global warming? Yes, but what I actually mean is mushrooms. Or rather, it's the month in which we turn mushrooms into characters. This challenge was launched by the wonderful artist Fifal on Instagram, and this year I want to take part as well. Fifal has also created a prompt list for each week, and you can find 7 different mushrooms on it which you can use as inspiration for your characters. I decided to incorporate 2 mushrooms into each character to add even more variety to the designs. Let's see how that went. For the first character, I chose the mushrooms Mycena subcyanocephala, I hope that I pronounced it right, and the lilac coral fungi because they look very different, but I found the color combination of blue, white and purple very interesting. I wanted to add the golden details of the Mycena mushroom with something unusual around the head and designed these golden rings with little balls hanging on it. The cloth hangs between them to create the round shape of the mushroom. I then incorporated the coral fungi into the dress as a coral shape and the skirt is made entirely out of it. The prompt for the first character was celestial, which is why I opted for bright white in the top and the yellow dots as details reminiscent of a starry sky. And I also wanted the character to look sublime, hence the confident but gentle pose. I still find the color palette very exciting and suitable for the character, but the coral shape of the skirt was a challenge. I could have played around with it a lot more. In the end, however, I'm very happy with the final result and the first design. The prompt for the second character was demonic, and I think the bloody tooth is a perfect reference for that. I immediately had the image of a vampire in my head, so the basic idea of the character was set from the beginning. I incorporated the bloody tooth into the outfit with red pearls that resemble blood blisters, and because the character is a vampire, I also added a few bloodstains here and there. I also found the shape of the bird's nest mushroom super interesting, so I decided to include that in the design as well. The bird's nest mushroom was the inspiration for the top, which has these frill-like shapes with dark pearls in them, and rendering the pearls and adding the highlights on them was a lot of fun. Overall, this design was pretty cool to create because, again, the color palette was very unusual. I actually work with red the least, but it became the main color of the outfit together with the white, which somehow makes the whole outfit look more fancy. Besides, you can see the bloodstains more on white, as every horror movie fan knows. This vampire may be a bloodsucker, but he's got class. I think this design ended up being my favorite of the 4, which I wasn't expecting, but I think everything just fits together here, so I am very happy with how it turned out. The third design is inspired by the amethyst deceiver and the infamous inky cap mushroom, which I've seen a lot of paintings of in the last years in Funguary. As the first 2 characters were already more serious, I wanted to be a bit more playful with this one and opted for a younger character. The girl here has more of a grunge vibe with the mesh top, fishnet tights and chunky boots. She's wearing a short purple velvet dress because the surface of the amethyst deceiver reminds me of velvet, and her skin is also purple. The hair is the inky cap part of the design. It drips down from her head and of course has the typical grey-black gradient. The drops even fall onto the girl's shoe and she leaves dark footprints. I thought that would be a cute little detail. The hair is blocking the girl's view because it's dripping in front of her face, so she has to lift it up to catch a glimpse. She probably doesn't even know exactly where she's going right now. I also really like the character number 3, but it's also a bit more basic than the others. I ended up doing all the designs with some layer adjustments and chromatic aberration, by the way, which is why the colors end up looking more intense and glowing in the end. And now to the last character, which is also inspired by 2 mushrooms, the dewdrop bonnet and blue coprinopsis. The latter has this spherical shape and something similar to spikes on the surface, which determined both the hairstyle and the top of the character. These also have a spherical shape and the top has small spikes, while the space buns have large metal spikes sticking out. The dewdrop bonnet, on the other hand, with its bright blue color, was the reason for the character's color palette, which is monotone blue. I was thinking of something like a water creature here, as the mushroom collects water droplets everywhere. That's another reason why I opted for a round shape language and added the floating water drops around her. I kept the outfit sporty with short tracksuit bottoms, tennis socks and sneakers with thick curved soles, which again remind me of water. The character looks kind of aggressive and challenging. Somehow I have her in my head as a martial artist, which is perhaps due to the spikes and round shapes that somehow remind me of a mace. I didn't have any major problems with the choice of colors thanks to the monotony here, but light and shadow were a little more difficult than with the other designs, as the light here comes from behind. In the end, however, layer modes and chromatic aberration did the rest and made the colors shine again. I think this design is the most unusual out of them all. And here you can now see all of the 4 Funguary characters I designed next to each other. Please tell me in the comments which one is your favorite or which one you find most interesting, and tell me if you have also participated in Funguary. So this was the first time that I did this challenge and I liked it a lot, and I just realized how little I know about mushrooms, and I didn't even know that most of these exist. Some of them don't even look real in my opinion, but they make very cool references for character designs. I hope that you liked this video and that you also liked all of the designs that I made here. And I also hope that I will see you in one of my next videos, which will come soon. Until then, bye bye Bean, have a good one and stay creative!